Mr. President, Russia remains China's top crude oil supplier in September.
I want to be nice to China, but China's been very rough with us over the years because we had...
Hey everyone! So here's the big question we're all asking right now. Are we actually in a crypto bull run, or are we just witnessing the biggest manipulation season we've ever seen? I mean, look around. There's some serious market manipulation happening right in front of our eyes. Now, you could point fingers at the Trump administration and say it's all about those tariffs messing with the markets. And honestly, a lot of people are doing exactly that, just blaming everything on Trump and calling it a day. But here's the thing. I want to dig a little deeper with you guys today. Don't get me wrong, tariffs definitely have an impact, and I'll be real with you. I'm not exactly thrilled about some of Trump's crypto moves, especially with all these meme coin launches and that whole circus. But let's give credit where it's due. There have actually been some pretty solid developments for crypto since he took office. However, there's something way bigger that I'm keeping my eye on, and honestly, most people are completely missing it. I'm talking about manipulation by the crypto players themselves, specifically crypto exchanges. This is huge, and we need to talk about it. But first, let's check out what's happening in the markets right now because, well, would you look at that? It's a sea of red again. Shocking, right? When we look at the weekly charts, we are still in the deep red on the monthly deep red. But when we zoom out to the yearly view, we're still looking pretty good with some solid green numbers. But here's what's keeping me up at night. At what point do we just completely give back all of these gains? I mean, think about it. If this manipulation phase just keeps going and going and going, like some twisted crypto Groundhog Day, we could literally watch our entire year's progress disappear before our eyes. And honestly, we need to break through this cycle of nonsense. We can't keep letting these market manipulators control the narrative and toy with our portfolios like this. Something's got to give, and soon. We need to have something flip in this market if we're looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin back down to 108K, Ethereum back down to like almost 3,800, and XRP back down to $2.42. All right, let's dive into what happened with Bitcoin today. And trust me, this is where things get really interesting. Huckles. So check this out. Earlier this morning around 11 a.m., Bitcoin absolutely shot up to almost $114,000. I'm talking about a massive spike that had everyone glued to their screens. But then, and here's where it gets crazy, we immediately got slammed back down to where we're sitting right now at roughly $108,300. Now I know what you're thinking. What the heck just happened? What was the big news that caused this wild ride? That's exactly what we need to figure out. What was going on during that pump? And more importantly, what triggered that sudden sell-off? We're going to get to the bottom of this in just a minute, because the story behind this move is absolutely wild. But first, let's take a quick look at how the other major players are doing. Ethereum is basically following Bitcoin's lead. No surprise there. And XRP, closely following Bitcoin. This is why I keep saying that almost everything is revolving around what Bitcoin is doing right now, until that changes. We are not going to see any significant run-up on all coins now. All right, let's zoom in on the big players here, starting with the king of crypto exchanges, Binance. Now, Binance has been absolutely dominating the spotlight for years. We're talking about a platform that started around 2017 and has basically turned into this massive crypto giant that everyone either loves or loves to hate. But here's where things get spicy. There's been tons of speculation swirling around about what Binance is really doing behind the scenes. How exactly are they cornering the market? And how did players like CZ make their billions? I mean, on the surface, it looks pretty straightforward, right? Binance is sitting pretty as the #1 crypto exchange with nearly 12 million weekly visits, and get this, almost $30 billion in trading volume just in the last 24 hours alone. With numbers like that, of course they're printing money. But hold up, that's just scratching the surface. Because here's what most people don't want to talk about. Binance has always been at the center of some serious manipulation allegations, and I'm about to break down exactly what I mean by that. Let me show you a few things that'll blow your mind. Okay, I need to take you guys back to August, and trust me, there's a reason I'm going all the way back there. This is going to show you just how long this manipulation game has been running in our space. Now look, manipulation has always been a thing in crypto. That's nothing new. But this cycle has been absolutely brutal. I'm talking about the worst manipulation we've ever seen, hands down. So picture this. It's a weekend in August and boom, $250 million worth of crypto longs get completely liquidated in just 30 minutes. 30 minutes. That's not market volatility, folks. That's surgical precision. And here's what really got me fired up. I called it out in real time. I literally said the market manipulation on weekends is so obvious at this point that, but here's where it gets even crazier. So here's where the story gets really interesting. And this is where you can clearly see the manipulation playbook in action. Whew. Going into that Sunday, the 19th, Bitcoin started pumping. We were feeling good, right? Things were looking solid, and we carried that momentum straight into Monday. But check this out. We kept pumping all day Monday until around 5 p.m. Then bam! Sudden sell-off out of nowhere. Tuesday rolls around, and what happens? We go absolutely crazy again with another pump. But then, you guessed it, another mysterious sell-off. Now here's the smoking gun, guys. This was happening during regular trading hours. And I noticed something really sketchy. Most of these major price swings were happening right after the stock market closed, when crypto was the only game in town. Think about that for a second. When everything else is closed and crypto is the only market still trading 24/7, that's when we see these wild moves. That's not coincidence, that's strategic manipulation. Now, don't get me wrong, crypto being open 24/7 does mean we're going to react first when big news drops at 6 or 7 p.m. before it hits the stock market the next day. That part makes sense. But what we were seeing here was different. But wait, it gets even more obvious. Check out this post from DGN Ape22 over on X, because this guy absolutely nailed what's happening here. He breaks down the timing perfectly in these screenshots, and it's actually kind of scary how predictable this has become. Ready for this? First, gold rotates into Bitcoin, exactly as expected. Then, Bitcoin starts pumping way too fast for someone's liking. Next, Donald Trump conveniently throws out some more doubt about tariffs to cool things down. And finally, these magical shorts appear with absolutely perfect timing. I mean, come on, this is literally the same playbook as last time. This has got to be the most obvious market manipulation we've ever witnessed in crypto history. And here's the kicker. When we look back at the previous time this happened, there were clearly insider traders who already knew about the tariff announcements before they went public. They were already positioning their shorts while the rest of us were left holding the bag. It's like watching the same movie over and over again, except each time they're getting more brazen about it. Now look at this first post here. This is where things get really interesting. We're seeing gold going down while Bitcoin shoots up. There's this inverse correlation happening that's actually pretty wild to watch. The caption even says, "Send gold to zero." And guys, this is coming right after gold had already taken a significant beating. And what led to Bitcoin pumping in a huge way, which, by the way, also took everything else with it, including XRP. But then we get Justin. Then bam! President Trump drops this bombshell. He says his scheduled meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping might not even happen. Interesting timing, right? And then immediately after that, we get an alert. The insider whale who profited from last week's crash currently short $235 million with 10 times leverage. I mean, it's honestly becoming comical at this point. We can see the full position here, and it really feels like we're at that stage in the cycle where we can literally predict manipulation happening with almost every major price swing. It's like clockwork at this point. But here's the million-dollar question. How exactly does Binance fit into all of this chaos? Well, buckle up, because what I'm about to show you is going to blow your mind. All right, let's dive into this announcement that dropped just about 4 hours ago as I'm recording this. Breaking. Trump announces tariffs on China will be at 155% starting November 1st. Now here's the thing. This isn't exactly breaking news, guys. We've been hearing these same statements for a while now. But what's absolutely hilarious to me is the timing. The second the market starts moving up even a little bit, boom, back to tariff doom and gloom. It's like they have this playbook, right? It really feels like these tariff discussions and trade war threats are being used as a weapon. Literally a tool to slam the brakes on the markets whenever things get too hot. And you know what? It's the exact same playbook as the government shutdown nonsense that's been delaying ETF approvals. I mean, it's honestly comical at this point. Almost everything seems perfectly designed to slow things down, delay progress, and keep retail investors on the sidelines while the big players position themselves exactly where they want to be. But wait, there's more. So here's the actual announcement from Trump about these tariffs. And let me break this down for you. Trump comes out swinging, saying he's slapping a massive 155% tariff on China starting November 1st. His reasoning? China's been taking advantage of America for years, and this time around, the tariffs won't be some small slap on the wrist. But here's what's really happening in the markets right now. Everyone's already on edge. Bitcoin's been stuck in this choppy sideways action for weeks, and honestly, we're all just waiting for some clarity here. If this is supposed to be the deal-making phase, like some people are saying, then let's just get it done already. The markets are absolutely exhausted from all this suspense and uncertainty. And speaking of the announcement, here's the actual video clip where
Thank you, Mr. President. Russia remains China's top crude oil supplier in September. Are you considering tariffs on China?
Well, I mean, you read the same papers as I do, but I don't have to read the papers because I'm the one. Right now, as of November 1st, China will have about 155% tariff put on it. And I don't think it's sustainable for them, so I want to be nice to China. But China's been very rough with us over the years because we had presidents that weren't smart from a business standpoint. Some were good politicians, some weren't even good politicians, but they allowed China to take advantage of us and every other country to take advantage of us.
So yeah, here we go again with more tariff talk that leads to pretty much nothing. We've been hearing about this supposed deal for what feels like forever now. But here's what's really bugging me. While all this is happening, everyone's laser focused on the obvious suspect in the room, Trump and his tariff announcements. They're all saying, well, that's what's causing all this manipulation, right? But hold up. That doesn't explain the real mystery here. How are these insider traders getting their information? And more importantly, who is feeding it to them? Is it someone in Trump's inner circle? Someone from the family? I mean, the speculation has been absolutely wild. People are throwing around names like Barron Trump, Eric Trump, you name it. But here's the thing. But when we really dig into this, let's go all the way back to 2020 for some perspective. Now, obviously, the COVID crash was completely real. That was legitimate market chaos. But this recent price swing we just saw on the 10th, that was pure manipulation, plain and simple. And guess what? Easy808 actually called this out too with a post about it, because what we witnessed was this absolutely massive wick down. But here's the crazy part. This whole thing was orchestrated by Binance. Wait, what? How exactly was this all Binance's doing? Let me break this down for you. Alright, let me show you this post that absolutely exposes what happened during our recent liquidation event. This comes from Crypto Nobler, and it's a bombshell. Breaking. Binance is actively dumping Bitcoin to liquidate $9 billion in long positions. Think about that number for a second. $9 billion. But here's how they're doing it. They're selling Bitcoin in massive quantities every few hours, over and over and over again. It's like clockwork. This is textbook exchange manipulation, guys. We're literally watching it happen in real time, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. Listen, don't get shaken out by this madness, because here's what's really happening when we set up long positions on these exchanges. They are literally playing us. These exchanges are using market makers to systematically target longs, target shorts. They're hunting our positions like it's open season. And when they liquidate traders, especially when we're talking about $9 billion, who do you think pockets all that money? Is it other retail traders like us? Hell no. It's the market makers and the players providing that capital, aka the exchanges themselves. They're making bank every time they liquidate people who are using their platform with leveraged positions. This is textbook market manipulation by major exchanges, and guys, this has been going on for way too long. They've turned liquidations into their own personal ATM machine, and we're the ones funding it. Again, we go all the way back to September, where Binance was doing the same exact thing. Here we have Binance selling even more Solana to crash Solana. This is a theorem. Here we have Bitcoin as well. Now here's where things get really spicy. Do I think Trump and his administration are also manipulating these markets? Absolutely 100%. Think about this for a second. Almost every single tariff announcement from Trump has come either over the weekend, after Friday's market close, or after stocks have shut down for the day. That's not coincidence. That's strategy. We already know Trump is heavily involved in crypto, so it would make perfect sense for them to manipulate these markets and get even richer in the process. But wait, it gets even crazier. We recently got an announcement claiming that Barron Trump has already made over $80 million in crypto. $80 million! Now, I don't think I need to spell this out for you guys, but making serious money in crypto has been absolutely brutal for the past 9 months or so. Most altcoins haven't even come close to reclaiming their previous highs. So what exactly is Barron Trump doing that the rest of us don't know about? There's only one logical explanation. He's trading with insider information. Because there's absolutely no way someone who isn't an extremely seasoned veteran trader is making that kind of money in such a short time frame without having access to information that we don't have. And that's on top of this. Let's go back to October 10th because this is where I essentially said, spell it out with me, manipulation. Because if we look at this, we have, and there we go, Trump. So after canceling the meeting with Xi Jinping, now we're hearing that Trump might still have the meeting with Xi after all. The venue for this potential meeting is apparently still locked in and ready to go. But here's the kicker. This update comes after the market already crashed. Then boom, we get these possible updates that flip the script again. Do you see what's happening here? It's designed to constantly keep you on your toes, never knowing what's coming next. You can't predict anything because every time you think you figured out the pattern, they switch it up. This is all manipulation, guys. We keep seeing these same types of announcements over and over again. It's like they're playing with us. You know what? This whole thing takes me back to the days when... before the 10th, which was the major swing recently, this one. Right. Before the 10th, which was the major swing recently, this one. Right. This whole pattern that's creating the crazy price action we're seeing right now, it takes me straight back to when Trump said something like, "Oh yeah, everything's looking great with China." Xi doesn't want China to suffer, and we don't want them to suffer either. We're totally willing to help them out. And then bam, out of nowhere, we get slammed with negative tariff news about China again. Just like that, we're back to these endless back and forth battles. And guess what happens? The market tanks again. This is pure psychological warfare at this point, guys. They're literally playing with our emotions. And here's why it works so well. All of these markets run on emotions. Fear, greed, FOMO, panic. That's what moves prices. But what we're witnessing here isn't just market psychology. This is clear, calculated manipulation from all sides. They know exactly which emotional buttons to push and when to push them. But Binance is 100% also playing this game. We know these major exchanges have been running this playbook for years now. And here's the smoking gun. It's the #1 reason why when the market has these massive, violent price swings, guess what happens? You can't even use any of these exchanges to buy. The majority of them mysteriously go down right when you need them most, while the big players somehow manage to jump in and scoop up all the deals. And here's the kicker. The same exact thing happens on the swing highs. When things are violently pumping to the upside, guess what? These exchanges magically go down again. It's absolutely comical how rigged these markets are against us retail traders. They've got us coming and going. So with all that said, I really hope you guys found this deep dive into market manipulation as eye-opening as I did. If this video opened your eyes to what's really happening behind the scenes, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss when I expose more of this madness. Because trust me, there's a lot more where this came from.